Hey, it's V Lee here, and you are watching the Real Estate Baller Show. We are a growing channel, and we've been growing organically, and we could really use your help. So can you hit that subscribe button and share this episode with a friend? It helps us more than you know and allows us to help more people to reach financial freedom through real estate. Thanks and enjoy this episode. So what kind of boss would you rank yourself? Are you a whip cracking type of boss?
No,
Are you an
no.
inspiring boss? Lay back, easygoing? What are you?
Here's my biggest downfall. I sometimes hold people accountable to standards that don't exist.
Because you're naturally competitive.
Yeah, well, so what I feel like happens to me where I struggle and I need to do a better job, even as we speak right now, is I have a standard, but I haven't given them the standard. So people need to know, like, what's our standard? Like, we have these certain KPIs we measure by, but instead of leading people, I'm trying to just, why haven't you done it yet? Like, why are we not doing this? And I think if you don't have a standard, and by a standard, I mean, let's just say in our world, right? If this is a seasonal business that I'm in the market that I'm in. And so naturally we're slower right now. But I want it to be just as busy as if it's, May. And I'm looking at everybody like, why isn't it? So a great example would be like our acquisitions team or any of our other teams. Like, I haven't set a standard of like, okay, when we're slow, we make this many calls every day, right? Like, hey, here's the expectation. Here's our standard. Here's our expectation. We hold them. Instead, I just get on them. Like, why haven't you made calls? Well, that's not even a standard I've set. But now I'm trying to hold them accountable to something that I haven't been. As a leader, I haven't given them clarity of what they should be doing. Does that make sense?
Would that be expectation that you haven't set for them? Or
correct. But I'm holding them accountable. I'm trying to hold them accountable for expectations I've never set,
Yeah.
And because I just, in my head, it's like, duh, of course I want you doing this if we're slow. Or of course I want this done. Like, why would you not be doing this? Instead of being clear with them.
Okay. But you have longevity in your companies. What are the good things you did that keep them around?
Well, I think you got to know what's their why, because their why is not to build you a rental portfolio. I think we really get to know, like, what's your why? What do you want to accomplish? Not just money, but all aspects of life. What are they trying to accomplish? And once you figure out their why, if you help them get to their why, naturally they'll get to your why. But if you keep painting the vision, if all you ever talk about, you never ask them what their why is or how much money they want to make or where do they want, what vacation or trying to get in better health. Like, if you don't ask and know that and be genuine, like when you see them, like, how's that goal going? Meeting with them once a quarter. Like, how's your goal going? Have you bought a new car? Have you saved enough money for the new car? Are you working out 3 times a week? If all it is like, what's your numbers? What's your KPIs? What's your numbers? And they're just, so I think that's what I've done good at, is understanding their why and helping them achieve it. Like, I care about people as people. Like, I want people that you have to have employees or team members, like, they got to have a good family life, because if they don't have a good family life, they're not showing up the best version they can in their professional life. So we have to be, sometimes I think we expect our teams to sacrifice everything like we did as entrepreneurs. They're not wanting to do that, or they'd start their own business. That's not what they want. Right. Does that make sense?
It does. I think it's, I've come to my own realizations on that too, some time ago. Because probably several years ago, I let go many people, and it's always come down to, well, I'm working my butt off and you think I'm not working hard enough. And then I ask myself, well, why is that? What's wrong with me, right?
Yeah.
Why did everyone think that? And it comes down to, okay, like you said, expectation. Here's the expectation. Here's my expectation, and here's their expectations. And we had a misaligned in our expectation. The other thing was misaligned in our core values.
Yeah, and not stating that too. But did you ever find, you kind of mentioned something, and I found this sometimes. Have you ever heard the terminology that people are just a mirror of you in that moment?
No, tell me about it.
So, like, basically, your children can do it to you. They're a mirror, they're a reflection of how you feel. And so when I'm really frustrated at someone, and sometimes rightfully so if something happens, but in a lot of times when I'm frustrated at someone, whether it's my kids, a team member, my wife, my spouse, whoever, I realize I'm just frustrated at myself. Deep down, if I really want to reflect on this and go, deep, there's probably something in me that's frustrated at me, and it's reflecting back through them. And so so sometimes I got to look within and be like, what's the real reason this person's irritating me? Or why am I really upset at my spouse? Or when my spouse does this, why is it really bothering me? And is it really just because they didn't make enough phone calls? Or is it really because they didn't do X, Y, and Z? Or is it really because my wife, didn't do this? Or is it something internal that I'm probably struggling with? And I found a lot of times, like, it's probably more me than it is them. There's an internal struggle. I'm upset at myself for whatever reason. So yeah, but if you're upset at yourself, it's hard to be happy with everyone else sometimes.
That's true.
I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I'll give you an example. My daughter she's
It
very
makes
much.
total sense, Will. Yeah.
Does it? Seriously?
It does. But
yeah.
tell me tell us the example anyway.
An example people could probably relate to. My daughter's very much like me in a sense of, like, got to know the plan. Like, if I come home from work and my wife says, oh yeah, by the way, we got X, Y, and Z that we have to do today, and I don't know about it, I'll be like, what? I was like, I can't do that. I got this, I got that. And where my wife, on the other hand, is the opposite of me, obviously. I could come home to her and be like, hey, we got to do this, this, and this. And she may be frustrated or not knowing, but she'd be like, all right, that's fine. We'll figure it out. Right. So my daughter one morning was all stressed out about something at school. And, and I'm like, just relax. It's not a big deal. Like, you're getting worked up about nothing. And as I'm talking to her in this moment of life that I'm in, I'm stressed out and I'm feeling this, and I'm telling her the exact words I should be telling myself. It's all going to work out. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You're overreacting. You won't remember this tomorrow, let alone next week, next month, next year. And when I walked away from that conversation, I was like, that was really the words I needed to hear. Like, I need to tell myself, quit stressing out about things that don't matter all the time, and trying to be like, it's okay. It's okay if things don't go as planned. And so that's what I mean, I guess. Does that make sense, I guess?
It does. It does. And as you say that, like, different things pop up in my head, right? Like, yeah, this time while I was screaming at my staff for no reason.
Your kids are your greatest teachers. They teach you. My son's the opposite, like my wife, and he doesn't really stress out about anything. And I'm like, why are you? And I'm looking at him sometimes like, why aren't you stressed out? Like, you should be stressed out. Like, why are you? I don't understand why you're not stressed out right now. But he looks at life different. It's all about perspective. He has a different perspective. And I think that's the biggest thing that I see in all of us is we all have a different perspective on life, just in general, right? And so whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, doesn't mean you're a bad person, good person if you're in one party or the other. You just have a different perspective. That's it. So I choose that there's nothing bad that can if you really have the perspective and you really have faith in whatever it is that you believe in, and nothing and everything in this whole, God, with Buddha, with whatever religion, people call it 100 different things, universe, like, if everything is for you, then even this bad situation that you're going through is for you. And you and I can both give examples of, it seemed bad at the time, but now that you look back and you can connect all the dots, it was actually a really good thing. So I just try to remember that, like, no matter how bad this is, it's happening for me. It's teaching me to be a better leader, better husband, better father. And if you choose that perspective, life becomes a lot easier. It's not easy to do, by the way. I struggle with it, so I don't want to act like I don't. But I feel like I get better and better every day of just, I control the perspective I want to see this. That's it. Like, I have control over how I choose to see this situation. Whether it's a positive or negative, it's my choice to view it one way or the other.
Have you ever thought, like you told me, you haven't figured out what your bigger purpose is, but have you ever thought of, like, what is it that you always navigate towards, or what is it that you enjoy doing and love doing, regardless of people telling you no, regardless whether you get money from it or not? Have you identified that thing for yourself?
I'm getting closer to it. I enjoy these types of conversations. I enjoy, if I had a perfect world, if I could just choose anything and take Joe Rogan, we kind of talked about, right? He just brings on these wide range of guests, in all different aspects. I truly am intrigued by people, their background and their life experience. Like, we haven't went deep with you. I'd love to interview you and even go deeper than what I know of. You weren't born in this country, right? You came to America. You're a single mom. You're a business owner. You're a lot of different things. I enjoy finding out. I don't really care about how you've grown your business or done this. I'm more intrigued by your journey and how you got here and your perspective on things. And that's what I really enjoy. And I think if I had a perfect world, I think that's, I want to do more of that. I'm doing a jail ministry now. It's essentially just a Bible study in jail and these guys are so real and raw that you can't find a Bible study like that in a church, I mean, it's just neat to see these guys are in jail. They're in these situations, but man, their perspective is amazing. And I think we're all, and I was telling them, I mean, there's a lot, they're more free in there than some people are in 10,000 square foot mansions. They're just prisoners in a different way. You know what I mean? And so I love hearing their point of view. So like, if I could see myself doing speaking, it would be more in that type of stuff than, maybe involved in that. So I'm chasing it. I'm trying to look for it. I feel like I'm constantly getting closer. I love having deep conversations with people on a deeper level.
I've been asked a lot about passive investment. And let's be real, there is nothing passive about being a landlord unless you have a really good property management company. So if you own an Airbnb or a short-term rental and you want to get back your time, please give our team at Buzz Vacation Rental a call at 281-549-8432 or go to our website at pm.buzzvacationrentals.com.